Welcome to the Life After Sugar podcast. The podcast that's not just about sugar, but about your relationship with it and also with food and especially with yourself. So if you want to discover your life after sugar and hear inspiring stories from all kinds of people who also cut out sugar in their way, at their pace, for their own reasons, this is the podcast for you. Because when you take away the sugar, you can finally discover the real sweetness in your life. I'm your host, Netta Gorman. And you know what? I get the feeling that whether it's for some kind of diet or becoming sugar-free or anything else, some of us have a knack for overcomplicating everything, and I include myself. And from all the years that I've been giving this program, I've realized that this personality trait, this way of overcomplicating things, setting ourselves up for failure so that we can say, I failed. I might as well just eat sugary food. Well, all of this type of behavior is a type of self-sabotage that could actually be reduced or even eliminated if we just learned to keep it simple. And that's what I'll talk about in just a minute. But first, I just wanted to tell you that if you're looking for some free resources, then I have plenty for you. First, download my 5 tips to get rid of cravings. And those 5 tips may not be what you think they are. So go to sugarcravingsfree.com and download your 5 tips today. And while you're at sugarcravingsfree.com, why not take the Cravings Quiz? I created this Cravings Quiz specifically to help you start thinking more deeply about what triggers your cravings. And when you do this quiz, you'll get your personalized score as well as my practical tips to help you take your first step to get rid of cravings. Those free resources are at sugarcravingsfree.com. And to go even deeper, buy my new book, Break Free from Sugar Cravings, in either paperback, ebook, or audiobook format, available now on Amazon in most countries. Type in the search bar, Break Free from Sugar Cravings, or just my name, Netta Gorman. And on social media, come check out the Life After Sugar Facebook page and subscribe to the Life After Sugar YouTube channel, as well as my Instagram account at My Life After Sugar, which is where you'll get all kinds of inspiration so that you can see that it's perfectly possible to live a happy and active life, even if you don't eat sugar. All right, so today's episode is all about learning how to keep it simple. Because a sugar-free life, yes, can be perceived as being unnecessarily complicated, or in reality, it can actually make your life simpler. But how do you learn to simplify? Well, here are a couple of strategies that I found that work for me. First of all, is to get used to changing your perception about life in general, not just food, not just sugar, but the whole of your life. So I realize that most of us live busy, complicated lives with all sorts of input and appointments and people we need to see and take care of, and 101 other things that get in the way of a simple life. And believe me, the processed foods industry has figured this out. And of course, that's why they offer us all of these highly processed products, pre-packaged foods and ready meals, so as to tap into this need that we have in our modern day society to go faster and to make life simpler. Except actually, a lot of these highly processed food products don't really make your life that much simpler. But although they might save time in the short term, in the long term, they might actually use up more of your time because you spend time dealing with the side effects or the consequences of ingesting all of these processed food products that contain sugar and flour. So actually, in the long run, it takes far more time and energy to deal with the fallout of eating all these processed products. For example, lower energy or energy crashes, weight gain, inflammation, brain fog, blood sugar spikes and crashes, which can lead to feeling hungry even if you've only just eaten, plus all kinds of other health issues. I mean, don't you think your life would be much simpler if you didn't have to deal with any of these? Plus, in my 12-week program, the Freedom from Cravings Formula, I give a whole bunch of strategies to help you save time when you're prepping real whole foods. For example, it takes no more time to boil up a dozen eggs than it does to boil 2. And you can also batch cook a bigger amount of chili or stew or soup or a roast in bigger quantities and then either freeze smaller portions or keep them in the fridge so that you have meals prepped for the rest of the week. And that way you'll always have nourishing, filling food available so that you're no longer at the mercy of the processed foods industry and of your hunger. Keep it simple. You don't have to be master chef to live a sugar-free life. You just need to have a little bit of forward planning and the belief that you can simplify your life. I want to take a quick break to say that if this is your first time here, then welcome and thank you for listening to this podcast. And whether you're new or a regular and you haven't yet rated or reviewed this podcast, could I ask you to scroll down and tap on the stars to rate this podcast and also to write a short review to let me know how this podcast is helping you in your life after sugar. I love reading your reviews. And when you rate and review this podcast, not only does it encourage me to continue making new episodes, but it also helps to share this podcast and have more people see it so that we can help more people feel better and lose weight with less sugar. So again, thank you for rating and reviewing this podcast and for spreading the word about sugar. So just before the break, I was talking about a few strategies to simplify not just food prep, but your life in general. And one of those strategies has actually nothing to do with food and everything to do with your approach to life and to yourself. And one of the participants in the Freedom from Cravings Formula program, Dee Dee, says it better than I ever could. And she gave me permission to include a little bit of our conversation during one of her accountability calls with me in the program so that you can hear her own process of simplifying her life. And funnily enough, that doesn't always mean saving time or going faster. For Dee Dee, it meant taking the time to actually live her life. So here she is.
And the one that I think that I have the most question on, when I live, like when my thoughts are black and white, like do this, don't do that, do it. I tend to just end up throwing the towel in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Can you give me a concrete example so I can see what you mean?
Well, just like pertaining to food, you mean, or
Yeah,
any
in the scope of this program, let's say.
Well, okay. A black and white would be, okay, I'm going to have a fasting day and not eat until supper or whatever. And then at noon, if I eat, even if it's healthy food, I just want to throw the towel in and just have whatever because I've already messed up my plan.
Mm.
I didn't fast through that meal. Even if I eat healthy, it's like I can't in my brain can't let that go that I already messed up. Even if it was not, even if it was a healthy thing. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying?
Totally.
So
Yeah.
it's all or nothing for me a lot of times, black and white.
Well, I think it's very typical of people like us, abstainers, and it's sort of in our comfort zone because the lines are clear. Whether or not they're realistic is a separate issue, but the lines are clear. You feel in control of something, if only the rules that are random and that you made up yourself from nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a fantasy world most of
Yeah,
the time,
yeah, really. And
which
we all do it.
I'm comfortable in that. I like Jane Austen too. I mean, you know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean. Yes, we're in, a 19th century novel with a Netflix version series made from it, and we've got beautiful costumes, and
Right,
it's all very, it's great on the screen or on paper, and we're just comfortable because then we don't have to actually do any thinking or feeling.
right. Mm. Yeah, and I do see things shifting. I really do. And but I guess it's a little bit like in life. I thought if I did this and this and this, it would turn out this way, and it that just isn't happening. And you know that in life
Yeah.
too. I mean, and I think that I've had in my head, I've had weight loss and nutrition. And I mean, I could do it right for my kids, but for me, I just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And I think I think I still am just getting out of that. Well, if I do this and this and this, it will turn out. And if it doesn't turn out, then I can say, well, that didn't work. And
Yeah.
and it's just that pattern over and over and over again and every time I try something. And but I do have kind of a neat story about I talked to you about what you do about coffee.
Hmm.
And I did get a little coffee thing and I finally made a good cup of coffee. And I've never made a good cup of coffee. And I was so excited. I mean,
Oh,
there's one place I buy coffee that I really like, but I'm not really a coffee drinker. But when you get into the fasting highway and they talk about coffee, I thought, well, I have to drink coffee, and I never have liked it. But I did when I asked you how you do your coffee. I haven't ground my beans yet, but I did get a little percolator thing, and it is just so delightful to
hmm.
take time
Yes.
to do that. And I realize I don't slow down for myself to prepare anything.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of this ritual, the last couple weeks of, just taking time to make myself a good 12-ounce coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. And find
It,
it worthwhile to take time for that and for you.
I remember that same feeling when I went and got some counseling when my son was going through his eating thing. And I remember the same feeling when I would drink hot tea there. I felt like I was nurturing myself. And that's kind of what I feel like when I make this coffee. It feels really, it's good.
Oh,
I look forward to it.
you look forward to
Yeah.
it. And it's not
Uh-huh.
a big, complicated, time-consuming thing that you have to turn your life upside down to fit in.
And it was cheap. Yeah.
And it was cheaper to boot.
Yeah.
I love
But
that.
yeah, so thank you for, I don't know, thank you for sharing with me something simple. I mean, that was simple.
Yeah.
And it was easy. Yeah, it was just at the grocery store and, and I bought the most expensive coffee I could, but just to get quality coffee, but the thing itself wasn't bad. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have to be hundreds or even tens of dollars, you know. It doesn't even have to cost anything at all. In this case, it's the coffee, but I mean anything that makes you feel like you're worthy on all levels.
Right. And I know peace doesn't come from what we eat or drink, or I know that, but I don't know. I have so far to go. I've just taken off the first layer here.
Mm. And it's good for you to recognize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Oh, Netta. But sometimes just stepping into it helps me to take the whatever step it is I need to take, you know. Sometimes just stepping into it, even if I don't feel ready, kind of helps the process to start moving
Mhm.
instead of just not staying stuck. I
Mhm.
mean, even if I mess up or I'm not fully committed, I still am not stuck anymore. But it's kind of neat, like when you start to see your your shift in your thinking, right? I mean, you're starting to sabotage yourself and you go, why would I do that if I know this and this?
Mhm.
But it goes, I'm kind of starting to see, to keep my own peace, keeping it very simple, what works for me, whatever is simple for me, that's where I need to go.
Mhm.
Because I can look at all these different people having success in all these different ways in a different, and that can really throw me off and I
Mhm.
get discouraged sometimes. But
Mm.
so I'm
Yeah,
kind of I need to just tighten it in and keep it simple for me.
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah. And knowing that, you know, is also powerful. And it doesn't mean rejecting everything else or, you know, it just means, as you say, simplify, keep it simple, focus on the path that you're on. That is more than enough to be getting on with.
Mhm. Mhm.
It is.
And everything else is noise for now.
I think that that insight that Dee Dee has right from the beginning of the program is so powerful because that's the basis for change, the basis for freedom from cravings. It goes way deeper than changing what you eat. It's about changing how you think. And that's exactly why I created the Freedom from Cravings Formula program. Because I created this program specifically for women over 50 to help you go deeper into your relationship with food, especially sugar, and also into your relationship with yourself. And so that you can get guidance and support to help you stop emotional eating, break free from sugar cravings, slim down, and feel more in control around food and more empowered to know about your own body and your own health. In the program, you'll get step-by-step guidance and customized support through the 5-step formula that I've developed so that you can live your life with more energy and fit into your favorite clothes effortlessly, feel confident in your food choices, and ditch the shame and embarrassment that you feel every time your emotions make you slip or fall off the wagon, and so that you never have to feel like you're on some kind of restrictive diet. By the time you're 50 and over, you've spent decades looking after everybody else. And now it's your turn to take care of yourself. So let's chat about your specific needs and why you want to break free from cravings. To learn more about the Freedom from Cravings Formula program, go to sugarcravingsfree.com. And also, you'll find the link to book a free video chat with me with this episode in the show notes. Go to sugarcravingsfree.com. That's it for this week. Keep in touch and see you soon for another episode.